Stock market analysis for Wednesday, March 8th, 2023. Let's give a round of applause to my friend Rich for his first cash secured put option sold today. Congratulations. Bravo, Rich. Sometimes, even though this is an easy strategy, sometimes doing something out of your comfort zone is difficult. So when a person goes from trying to get their head wrapped around it to actually clicking the button, aka pulling the trigger and selling that cash secured put option for the first time, it's a rush. Now, once you've been doing it a little while, it's kind of boring. That's what's great about it. The bread and butter strategy of your good buddy Brent. And at the 1 minute mark of this video, there's going to be a link popping up right here to a video for 5 reasons why. Boom! You see it right there. You don't got to rush and watch it right at this moment, but just know at the 1 minute mark of this video, which you can come back and watch it, easy to remember. That's why I put it right at the 1 minute mark. You can go back and watch it, and it's not a super long video, but you can see these different 5 reasons why I 100% believe that you should be doing this. You should be selling cash secured put options. And then if you hear those 5 reasons why and you agree with me, then go in the description below any of my videos. There's a link to iofsuccess.com. There's free stuff. There's paid stuff. Well, basically, I got a 5 video playlist in conjunction with these free downloads that you'll have a theoretically good understanding of how to start selling cash secured put options. If you want to get more personalized help from me, like my buddy Rich, then click this button right here and find out how I can help you one-on-one. If you have any questions about this free stuff, about this paid stuff, or you want to tell me how wonderful I am at making these videos, then click this button right here, contact us. Now, there's 3 people on this team for I Have Success. One of us will get back to you. It'll either be me, myself, or I. One of those 3 people will get back to you. Today, we had non-farm payroll data come out. We had Jerome Powell testifying again. Why do they use that word testifying? Like the guy's, on trial or something. Maybe he should be. I don't know. Maybe the whole Federal Reserve should be. I don't know. Maybe everybody should be on trial. JOLTS job openings. But none of that really seemed to move the market a whole lot. We got some quote unquote, when it's red here, high impact expected. We got that coming up Friday too, so in 2 days from now. There was not a big high impact from today's financial events. In fact, we got a mixture of green and red over this heat map, which would, be coinciding with almost 50-50 here on advancing and declining, right? But this is a little bearish right there, right? New highs, new lows. About 78% of the stocks made new lows. And you see, you can kind of, just with a quick look, when it's not, that's easy, whatever. It's not exactly 50-50, but it's relatively close. This, you can see it's not even close to 50-50. This, you're starting to see more red over here, below the 50-day moving average. Still kind of closer to 50-50 here with a little more weight under the 200-day moving average. And taking a quick look through news headlines. This is something I've talked about a lot. A lot of people on YouTube have been talking about this for going on maybe 24 months now. The yield inversion, right? Talked about that. Where is... Oh, here it goes. There's a lot of this stuff about Silvergate, crypto stuff. There's another one. If you... There's a third one on the old Silvergate. I thought I saw some stuff on here too about maybe it was over on this side. Stock market could take it hard as expectations grow for 6% Fed funds rate. So yeah, be ready for the stock market to go either way. Well, let's look at that market. We're looking at the futures right now. Why would you want to look at the futures? Well, let's say that let's say you don't want to trade the futures, which if you're relatively new, you shouldn't even be trying to trade the futures. But you can use the futures as a little bit of a guidance of what's going to happen when the stock market opens. For example, right now the stock market's closed. You know, stock market of course is closed. It's 2:55 p.m. Hawaiian Standard Time, which means it's Eastern Standard Time. You're looking at, give me 1 second. You're looking at 7:56 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So the market's closed, but guess what? Futures market's still open, although they're not moving too much at the moment. What do we see? We got a big drop down here. This is S&P 500, this is the Dow Jones, this is the NASDAQ, and this is the Russell 2000. So overall, we're looking at basically the whole stock market by looking at these four. So we had this big move up, big move up, big move up, real similar on all of them. The only kind of sometimes the Russell looks a little different. But then we had this kind of topping bar here, topping little candle there. Just didn't have that one. And then the next day, drop down. All these price that, this move up was just negated right here. Negated, almost negated. This is about 50% in there, and it's kind of in the top 50% over on the NASDAQ. And over here on the Russell 2000, we're below that lost, this area right here, right? Went up, dropped down, back down there, dropped down again. Now we're significantly below that price action down over here. But in the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones, we're in the bottom 10% of those candles. With the only bullet, it's not even really that bullish, but it's like not as bearish as the other stuff, is over here on the NASDAQ, where we're in like the top 50% of this of this candle. All right, here, this big candle. Bitcoin seems just to be breaking down on a lot of that bad news, which shouldn't be a shocker. If you really believe the YouTubers that are telling you that Bitcoin's going to, what's that guy's name? Michael Saylor. If you believe Michael Saylor that Bitcoin is going to 100 billion in 2 minutes, then yeah, you'd probably be shocked. But I would say stop being a dumb butt. Stop believing nonsense. Right? The tooth fairy does not exist. And does that mean that cryptocurrency and Bitcoin can't? Am I saying it can't go up? No, I'm not saying that. But it's not going sky high and it's not going to 80 miles an hour in less than 2 seconds. So it made a run. We got up here. That was pretty a big deal to get up here to the 25,000 area, and it is just not holding it. We want to look at these big moves, whether it's up or down, and then see what happens. So we had this big move up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. On the 6th candle, it's in the bottom 50% of that move up. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 candles later, it's back to where it started. That gives you an idea that this bullishness is not that strong. 11 candles later, it's down. 12, 13, 14, 15 candles later, we're back down here. Not a good sign for the bulls. So does that mean that Bitcoin's going to zero? No. No, it doesn't. It definitely doesn't mean it's going to the moon tomorrow night either. So it might be somewhere in between. There might be some market value for Bitcoin that's below 100 million and above zero. Okay, let's bring it in a little bit. That's below 100,000 and above zero. Let's bring it in a little more because it peaked out around 70,000. It's below 70,000 and above zero. Where is it at? I guess the market's kind of telling us here. Some stuff. There's a lot of stuff that kind of needs to get cleared out to really get a good idea of what the fair value of Bitcoin is. Because Bitcoin, doesn't give you a dividend, doesn't have an income statement, balance sheet, statement of cash flow. It's kind of hard to look at it. And for the people that are saying, well, Bitcoin is gonna, it's gonna replace the U.S. dollar. No, it's not replacing the U.S. dollar. Stop believing in fairy tales. Gaddafi. You heard about that guy? He wanted to sell oil in something other than the U.S. dollar. The United States killed him. You think they're going to let Bitcoin do that? And if you say they can't kill Bitcoin, you know what? They can engineer a power outage. You tell me they can't? They can tax your off ramp and on ramp to Bitcoin. So does that mean the Bitcoin's not worth anything? No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is get your use case straight. You know, don't walk around the neighborhood with a plunger in your hand and telling people you're gonna beat them up like you're carrying a club, right? Maybe you could use a plunger as a weapon. But come on, a baseball bat's better than a plunger. You know, a sword's better than a plunger. You know what? So just kind of get your stuff right. Now, don't try to use a baseball bat to unplug your toilet. Don't try to use the baseball bat. Well, maybe you could use a baseball bat in a sword fight. I don't know. But I think you get my point here. It's like you want to, when it comes to making money in the markets, you want to be clear on what it is. What kind of approach are you taking? You know, for example, there's trading and there's investing. And let's put speculating in with trading, right? So there's speculation and there's investing. When you're investing, don't do speculation. When you're speculating, don't do investing, right? So where does Bitcoin fall in there? Where does it fall in? Just be clear of what it is, right? It's not a plunger. It's not a plunger. It's not going to clean your, it's not going to, whatever, you know, do what a plunger is going to do. And a plunger is not a deadly weapon. So don't bring a plunger to a fist fight, right? Even though the person might have a crappy attitude, you're probably not going to clean up the crappy attitude with a plunger. You probably need some, you know, maybe you need something else. I don't know. I hope you get the point. The point is just be clear on what Bitcoin is. And if you don't know, it's okay to step back and you put your money in stuff you're a little more clear with. Okay, silver. We see silver falling apart. Okay, now silver. Now silver's falling apart. Bitcoin's falling apart. But silver, at least you can be a little more clear on what silver is. For thousands of years, people have been using silver for money. You know, Bitcoin doesn't even have 10 years. It's been around for 10 years, but people haven't been using it for money for 10 years, right? So silver is used in, you like Tesla cars? Silver is used in Tesla. You like solar panels on your roof? Silver's used in solar panels. You like your health? Silver's used in a lot of health stuff. You like electronics? Silver's used in a lot of electronics. So, you know, that's a little more clear than what exactly is Bitcoin going to be used for. Now, for me, if I lived in a state that gave me enough freedom to trade this, I'd be trading it. I wouldn't look at it as an investment. I would think if it's going to the moon, I'm going to go for the ride. And if it's going to the ground, I'm going to go for the ride. I'd be trading this thing. Gold falling apart too. Looks like it's hitting this little floor right here. Natural gas stopped going down, kind of going sideways. And oil, we got a new low, we got a new higher low, but we also, a couple weeks ago, days ago or something, we also got a new lower high. So it looks like our range is tightening up a little bit because it was 72 and 82. Now it's 80 and 73. Roughly. This is really closer to 81 and this is really closer to 74, but whatever. We had this drop off. Everything's kind of slow. Nothing's really moving a whole lot today or tonight. And just kind of hanging out right in there. 10-year yield up. And how did the general markets look? Besides these three, I already looked at these. The US dollar hitting up here on this 200-day moving average and doing some doji action. So let's see what's going to happen. Is it going to fall back down or is it going to go above this 200-day moving average? 10-year, 20-year treasuries via the TLT kind of starting to move sideways a little bit. VIX, the VIX, like I'm more and more trying to recalibrate how I'm going to incorporate the VIX into my as an instrument for myself as an indicator, because I think with these really short-term options that have become more and more popular over the last couple of years and the zero DTE options, I think I don't know exactly how that's affecting the VIX. And so until I know exactly how it's affecting the VIX, I'm not necessarily thinking that, when the VIX is high, you buy. When the VIX is low, you go. It used to be the VIX is considered the fear meter, volatility index and the fear meter. I don't know if it's accurately representing fear anymore. Not sure. But we see on our 4 major indices what happened today. Bottom of the big candle. Bottom of the big candle. Sold off even lower. Closed below that. Opened here, closed here. Some buying pressure brought it up. Not too surprising. We got a pivot right here. Might have another pivot here. If through the end of this week we see prices go back up to here, we want to see what happens in that 335 area. Kind of the same thing over here on the S&P 500, but not as low. We're not as low right now. Is it going to come all the way back and test the 200-day moving average again? Kind of right in that area. Same thing over here, not as low, but we're closed up here, but we're still on the bottom 50% of this big drop down. And on the Russell 2000, we're definitely in the bottom here. Kind of maybe we're setting up for some support area right there. What do our 12 sectors of the stock market, how's that looking? Technology overall, we keep seeing in the Nasdaq is showing some strength. Healthcare is down. Looks pretty similar to the Nasdaq right there. Probably because maybe the top holdings of this are maybe exactly the same as the top holdings of the Nasdaq. Financials looking bearish. Industrials looking sideways. And even though we got this pullback right here, look at this. Down, up a little bit, down, up, down, looking sideways. Overall looking down with some volatility. Just keeps trying to raise back up. Energy overall on the last 30 days down. And maybe is it going to start, what's going to happen? Let's see how it shakes out. Is it going to come down here and touch this 82? It's only a couple bucks away. Consumer discretionary down, and consumer staples kind of sideways-ish, but looks weak, right? Because here, at least at the beginning of the month, we were testing above the 200-day moving average. Now we're failing on that, so kind of starting to look heavier to the downside. And utilities looking overall downish, rallied back up, hit this in this resistance area and fell down. Same thing over here with real estate, and retail is not looking too good either. Let's blast through some of these. What are those? Let's move over here to what do I want to see it at? 1 hour, and we'll look at the daily, 6 months. S&P 500. Top 10 holdings for the S&P, which there's a big overlap with the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq. So let's get off the oil. Apple kind of had this doji looking bar right here. You know, it's getting into this once it's it seems like 155 is kind of where it's having some tough time, and it had tough time over here with 155. Over here, it couldn't even get up, and just kind of got in this area. So it's not really so much of a surprise. And Microsoft, well, looks like we got a bottoming, potentially bottoming candle right there, right at that 200-day moving average. And if it starts breaking through there, it seems to have some good amount of support right through this area. So let's see if Microsoft starts breaking down, we want to see what's going to happen between this 250 to this 245 area. Because if it starts breaking down there, could start slipping. But ultimately, you can see this. This is really where it got down to these lows and it started reversing. But there's all this like overlapping candles through a variety of these like $5 increment levels in here. So it could probably get stuck in there. But if it really starts dropping, you see it starting to get down here in the 225s and probably other tech stocks. If they're doing that, then things are going down. But I think things are going to go sideways. Up, down, up equals sideways, right? Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. As long as the ups and the downs are sort of in the same distance, and nothing super bullish. When we take a look at Amazon, seems to be kind of moving a bit in the sideways, but overall, you know, you're looking at the last 6 months, it's not looking grandiose, other than you could say, you know, we might have hit a bottom right here, and it's sort of seems to be around getting some support in this 90-ish area, which isn't too much of a surprise. But Facebook, after Facebook gapped up on, which I think was a lot of their own taking money and buying their own shares back, it just kind of hitting this 190. In order for it to go over 190, you know what it needs? It needs money coming in. And unless Mark Zuckerberg is you know, tell him to do some more share buybacks and, you know, push the stock up. Come on, goose that stock market up. We don't care, Mark. We don't care if it's your own money. We just want to go long or short or iron condors and go sideways or something like that, right? Google's on here twice. The CIA's got its own company and it's on here twice. And they basically look the same, but we gotta look at this long wick to the top, right? Might be hitting this area of resistance. What do we need for this to go up? It needs money flowing in. In fact, any of these stocks we look at, you know what it needs for money? It needs to go up. It needs money flowing in. Now, this is one that money will tend to flow into, and it's basically been going sideways, right? In your paper trading account, test out doing some iron condors. Tell me what type of premium you get. Maybe I'll look at doing that myself, or maybe not. I've been doing some test run over here on Tesla. Tesla, you can sell some options away from the money and still get some decent premium. I'll tell you what, if you don't know what you're doing, you're probably going to lose money. You know, even if you know what you're doing, sometimes you lose money. So paper trade this stuff. And overall, okay, we got a low, we got a higher low, right? We definitely got that. But we got a high, lower high, lower high. Is it breaking it? Are we making a high, higher high? And we'll see, right? It's been falling apart right in here. I think everything's on shaky ground. Here, finally, Nvidia. We got some bullishness looking there, right? Look at today's candle. Today's candle makes it look bullish because I was waiting to see what's going to happen. Is it going to start falling down over here and start kind of going sideways or breaking the bull trend? But it's got to start working its way up to the 250 to kind of maintain this bullishness. It can go sideways a little bit, but it's got to go up there to that 250. JP Morgan Chase, Jamie Dimon. Sideways at the moment. It's maybe still considered bullish. This needs to be it's got to start moving up a little more in order to keep this bullish trend going, right? We're starting to this pivot right here. We're starting to test this pivot area, and we basically did, right? We are testing it. I don't know if it's failing exactly. But if it starts dropping down here and testing into this pivot area, then we're kind of, seems like the bull run is over. It doesn't mean it can't resume, and it could kind of go sideways. But it was a relatively strong bull run for a little while. And if this candle wasn't here, it'd still be, you know, debatably could keep going up. It looks like it's ending that bull run. And let's take a peekaboo at the NASDAQ. We looked at everything that we just looked at is in the NASDAQ, and this one is a top 10 holding, which is PayPal, right? Overall, you look at the 6 months, and it's everything looks, almost everything, not everything, but the majority of stuff just looks bearish when you look at a 6-month chart. Probably a year chart too, I would imagine. Yeah, we'll look at that. Does that look bullish to you? Oh, it just looks sideways, man. Maybe might be a good sideways candidate. Last 6 months though, it's just been going down. Maybe we're bottoming out a little bit. down here. I would, you know what? Hey, if you got the cash, I've never looked at the balance sheet or the income statement of PayPal, but just looking at this, if you got 6,500 laying around, you know, if you can get any premium, is there any premium at 65? Let's see. Let's look at about 30 days out. 65 bucks. You know, you got roughly a 8% chance to get assigned PayPal at 65. I don't know. I don't know if that would be such a bad deal. So what is that ticker symbol? PayPal. PYPL. Let's take a peek at PayPal. PYPL. This is Finbox. I've been paying for this. I pay annually, so it saves me some money. If you want to purchase it, there is a link below this video, link in the description. So please use that link so I get a little bit of a kickback. Okay, management has been aggressively buying back shares. What's that making it look like on its chart? Not looking. They better start being more aggressive on buying back, right? If we want to see it go up a bit. Maybe that buying is just keeping it from tanking. Let's see. Financial health, fair. That's not too good. You know, that's really not good. I'm used to looking at things that say like excellent or at least good. What are some other ones? Fair is not that great. It's not that great. Does it give any dividends? Oh, I don't know. No dividends. And let's see. The different models they use. Earnings power. I don't know exactly how this is calculated. I don't know it well enough to tell it to you right now. But by looking at that, they're saying that the way of calculating fair value of PayPal using the earnings power value comes to 41. Everything else you can see is like close to 100 or above. So that's why it's averaging out to 102. Let's look at Ben Graham. Even though this model might not be currently the way Ben Graham would value formulas, looking at 23 bucks. And what else? Let's see. What's the enterprise value to EBITDA at the current 16? I think at 65 maybe this would dip down under 10. Yeah, what else could we look at? Let's just look at this real quick. Total debt. 11 billion. And total debt to total capital. 12%. Hey, that's not that bad. Might be yeah, let's check this. Free cash flow. Okay, when basically they got money left over after they pay their bills. There's more to look at than that stuff that I was looking at, but it's a quick way to kind of go through and get an idea. So yeah, paper trade it. See what you can get out of PayPal. Adobe. Let's see, rallying up, hitting right in this resistance, and keep going through here real fast. We will look at we'll end with IWM, but right now we'll get the Dow Jones, starting with United Health Group. Ooh, looking down. This one to me looks fun to trade though. Really expensive stock, so it's probably going to be really rich in the premium, which means you got to really budget make sure you got enough money in your account, make sure your buying power and things like that are intact, and practice. I need to follow my own advice. I need to start doing a little research on these, but I think this one might be a good one. Government Sachs. This is another expensive one. I like this chart more. Like, this is really, really volatile, so it makes me think that look at this, implied volatility is only 25. Let's just take a quick peek at what kind of and let's see. Look at this. You can go. It's trading at 470 right now. You can go all the way. You can you can go all the way down to 390. But look at this, 11 cents, 40 cents. It's a big difference in there. 2 delta, which means you got about roughly 2% chance of getting assigned. Not a lot of volume in there, and traded. What's the highest it traded for today? It didn't trade at all today, but the last, doesn't seem like there was a contract traded today. That last was at 25, so I'm not sure when that was. So as you start getting closer, let's take a quick look. We're at 470. Oh, look at that. And it's like, let's go back a year. All right, so a lot of volatility. Look at this, just chop it up and down. Let's look. Let's see. Here's a bit of a dilemma though. If prices were up here, then you'd have to get through all this, right? But now we're at the bottom of that, and you look to the left, and there's not much. There's not much. Like, it pivoted here. Next place is going down to here. So, I want to see at the, how about the 450? What kind of premium is that 450? Look at that. 400 and last today. Highest that sold for today was 520 bucks, which is pretty good, right? It's the highest it sold. Lowest it sold is for 450. It's in that range right now, 475. So you could potentially be pulling in, selling a cash secured or naked. You could be pulling in close to 500 bucks, maybe 4.5 to 500. But if you sell naked or if you sell cash secured, like, regardless, if you open this position and you only sell a put option at $450, what is it? What's your legal? What are you doing? You're basically, you are taking a legal obligation to buy 100 shares of the stock at $450. So that means, do you have the $45,000 sitting there ready to be able to fulfill your commitment if you need to? If you do, then it's cash secured. If you don't, then it's naked. And if it's naked and you're watching this video to learn, you shouldn't do it. Your paper trading account, go for it. Your real account, nah, don't do it. If you were going to do that, then maybe you turn it into a spread. Maybe you sell the 450 and then buy yourself some insurance down here. Now you're not going to collect maybe this one right here. And in fact, we'll end up, this is going to be the last thing we do for this video, but yeah, let's do this. So quickly, let's say sell that 450, and then we're going to add, we'll add on this, how about this 440, $10, and let's go right there. It's $10 wide or $15 wide, and we'll add this on, right? And let's bump this up to see if we can get credit for 300 even. And let's go to analyze trade. All right, let me pull this up a little bit just to make sure. Okay, so we'd be selling a vertical, right? I'm gonna sell the 455 and buy the 440. I thought I wanted to go with 450, but whatever. I'm not really gonna do this trade. Just kind of looking at it for just for fun, right? And so hey, buying power effect, only 1,500. That's not too bad. Down here, right? This is the most you can make upon option expiration date. And look down here at this whatever color that is, right? So the most you can make is 300 bucks, which makes sense because we're bringing in 300 credit here. And then what's the most we could lose? Look at that purple. The most we could lose would be, most we could lose will be 1,200. So do you think that's a good risk reward? It's up to you. Like, what do you think the chances of that happening? What are the chances of that happening? The chances right here, it's got, you got at least statistically what they're looking at, you got a 50% chance that it's going to stay over 450. And then you got a 50% chance that it's going below, did I say 450? I meant 470. And then it's got a 50% chance that it's going below 470, but staying above 423. 423 is below your, so if it gets down here, see right there, that negative? Woo, I can't even, I can't get it, right? You can look over here and see it, or you can look right there, negative 819. So yeah, it's if you don't have a big account, you should not be doing this. But there's a way. Maybe you can. What could we possibly adjust? Let's see. Maybe do this instead of the 440. What if we do this? All right. So this is I don't. This still get 300 for this. It's probably not as likely. Right? If we're getting 300, it's probably more realistically. You probably I don't know what would be more realistically, but this doesn't seem realistic to me. So let's say if we pulled this up to here, let's look at maybe it's more realistic to get like, I don't know what. Let's just say 200. All right, your max loss 300, max gain 200, and we're still, you got 50% chance that it could fall down under here and make it down over here. Basically, there's more ways to look at it, but yeah, this is a stock that I think it's worth kind of looking into more into. So we will finish this up with skipping the rest of those, and let's just take a quick look at our S&P 500. SPY. Look over here, 6 months on the candle. I just want to take a quick look at this, where this is showing us that this slow stochastic, right? This is not a leading indicator. This is a lagging indicator. And it's showing us kind of a trend. This purple line is like a longer term trend. Red line is a shorter term trend. I think this purple line is maybe about 3 months. And I think this one might be about 1 month, or maybe even less. Maybe this is 3 months. I can't quite remember, but you can see this red line really mimics what's been going on right in here. And right in here. So we started moving up towards this, and usually, like when you move up towards it right here, it failed and went back down, but it moved up against here. Look, we had a long kind of run up to the top. So it looks like not heading up there right now, and just sideways, looking sideways. We're really right into this sideways range, and maybe it started going sideways kind of right in here. Right in this time is where from here up to here, drops down, really bottoms out around here. So maybe this started the sideways once we hit a bottom. But it's almost like right in here around the 400 area. So let's say watching what's going to happen, as I mentioned before, from 420 to 440, that's still intact. But in order to get to 420, and when we're around 400, we got to get from 400 to 410. So let's see how that happens. Right now, it's not happening. Right now, we're still closing below 400. But from 400, from 400 to like 390, we're staying up closer to 400 than we are getting down to 390. So that's looking, I guess if you want If you want the stock market going up, we might be having a high, low, lower high, maybe, did I say lower high? I did. Higher low, low, higher low, higher low, higher low, kind of basing out right in there. Be nimble, be ready to, I'd say, what I recommend, is this. Learn how to sell cash secured put options on stocks you don't mind buying, right? Stocks you don't mind owning, because you're in a, what's the downside of that? You don't make a lot of money fast. You make money, but it's not fast. What's the upside? It's relatively safe, right? There's ways to lose money, but it's harder to lose money. What I just showed you with this, right? Come option expiration day, whatever, 30 days, you basically, if you break even, consider that good. Consider that like making money. You either break even or make money or lose money. We'll put break even in the making money category, right? You either win or lose. But when you're selling cash secured put options on a stock you don't mind owning, it takes a while to lose money. Like basically the stock's got to really go out of business, right? Because as long as you're collecting dividends and as long as you're selling covered call options, it takes a while, but you can recoup your investment. One time I was in I had 2,200 shares of a $5 of a stock I bought for $5.50. The stock went below $5.50. It went all the way down to like $3.50, and it didn't go down there like super fast, but I forgot how long it took. But it was like $4.50, $4, and it stayed below $5.50 for a year and a half until eventually it went up to $6, and I sold out of that position. But guess what? That year and a half that it was below $5.50, I brought in about $1,500 through covered call, premium, and dividends. So while I still owned the stock, I was cash flowing it. And basically every month I was generating money. Sometimes, I think one time I made about like $80 in in about a 3-week or 2-week period from selling covered call option. I was getting good premium and I was just dialed into where the stock traded, and I sold I was selling close to the money, but where I was pretty positive I would not get called out. And on a cheap stock that's trading below the price that I bought it at, to make $80 in 3 weeks, that's pretty good, right? That pays my insurance policy for the week or for the month. So check that stuff out. You guys have a fantastic day.